June 10, 1912. In a quiet, small town in Iowa, an entire family and two overnight guests were savagely butchered in the dead of night, their skulls crushed as they slept. No one heard a thing. No one saw a thing. And over a century later, no one has been convicted of the horrific crime. The Villisca Axe Murders remain one of America's most chilling unsolved cases. It's a story of horror, suspicion, and mystery that continues to haunt true crime followers to this day. The Moore family lived in a modest white house on 2nd Street in Villisca, Iowa. Josiah Moore, his wife Sarah, and their 4 children, Herman, Catherine, Boyd, and Paul, were well-respected members of their community. On the evening of June 9, 1912, the family had attended a Children's Day church program. With them were 2 young girls, Lena and Ina Stillinger, who had been invited to spend the night. They returned home around 9:30 p.m., and, by all accounts, everyone went to bed without incident. But sometime during the night, a shadow moved through their home, wielding an axe. The next morning, a concerned neighbor noticed the house was oddly quiet, curtains drawn, no one outside. She called Josiah's brother, Ross Moore, who arrived with a spare key. Nothing could have prepared him for what he found inside. The entire Moore family, along with the 2 Stillinger sisters, had been brutally murdered in their beds. Their heads had been crushed with the blunt end of an axe. The killer then draped clothing over their faces, as if to hide the horror of what he had done. Blood was everywhere, the ceilings, the walls, even the bedding soaked through. Investigators later determined that the killer had lingered in the house for hours after the murders, calmly eating food from the kitchen before disappearing into the night. Panic gripped Villisca. The town of just 2,500 people was overwhelmed by crowds of onlookers, all trying to glimpse the crime scene. In those early hours, the house was trampled by curious neighbors, contaminating what little evidence existed. Police quickly identified the weapon, Josiah's own axe, found in the guest room. But there were no fingerprints, no footprints outside, nothing that pointed directly to the killer. One particularly disturbing detail was a slab of bacon left on the floor next to the axe. To this day, no one is sure why it was there. Over the years, many suspects were questioned. One was Reverend George Kelly, a traveling preacher who left Villisca by train early that morning. He was a strange man with a reputation for odd behavior, and he later confessed only to retract his statement. After 2 trials, he was acquitted. Another suspect was Frank Jones, a local businessman and rival of Josiah Moore. Rumors spread that Jones had hired someone to kill the Moore family over business disputes, but no evidence ever proved it. Others believed a wandering serial killer had passed through Villisca, responsible for similar axe murders across the Midwest at the time, but no arrest was ever made. The community of Villisca was never the same. People locked their doors for the first time. Neighbors grew suspicious of each other. Families left town terrified the killer might return. For decades, the White House on 2nd Street stood as a grim reminder of the night when 8 innocent people were slaughtered. Today, it operates as a tourist attraction, where some visitors claim to hear whispers, see ghostly figures, and even feel cold hands brush against them in the dark. Whether you believe in spirits or not, the Villisca Axe House is a place where tragedy still lingers. More than 100 years later, the Villisca Axe Murders remain one of America's most infamous unsolved mysteries. Books, documentaries, and podcasts continue to search for answers. But the truth may be lost to time, with no living witnesses and no physical evidence preserved. It seems likely the identity of the killer will never be known. And yet, the story endures, a chilling reminder that sometimes true evil slips through the cracks and walks away free. 8 lives gone in a single night, a town left shattered, a family wiped out with no explanation. What kind of person could do something so horrific, then calmly vanish into the night? Was it someone from Villisca, hiding in plain sight, or a stranger who left behind only horror? Until the truth comes out, the Villisca Axe Murders will remain an unsolved nightmare, haunting the pages of American history. If you want to hear more chilling true crime stories like this, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a case.